Fusaro. I am professor of social and economic history at the University of Exeter in the UK.
My name is Vera Costantini. I'm a professor, associate professor of Ottoman history and Turkish language at the Foscari University of Venice.
Hey, I am Abdurrahman Atçıl, professor of Ottoman history, early modern Ottoman history at Sabancı University. We planned this activity as an intensive graduate seminar exploring early modern Mediterranean history. We are planning to focus on subjects like law, commerce, diplomacy, religion, cultural exchange, and military conflict. The primary aim of this activity, from our perspective, is to treat the Mediterranean not as a peripheral or declining space, but as a dynamic and interconnected region that remained central well into the 17th and 18th centuries. We see that this seminar takes a transnational approach. By this, I mean we want to move beyond the traditional boundaries of national and area studies. In addition, we want to respond to the recent global history narrative that tends to prioritize the Atlantic and Indian Oceans. We want to engage with this narrative and underline the continued significance of Mediterranean until the modern period. So in other words, our goal is to restore the Mediterranean to the global historical narrative by showing how its networks, legal regimes, commercial practices, and diplomatic interactions shaped early modern societies across three continents, Europe, Asia, and Africa, and perhaps beyond. One of the strengths of the program is the diversity of its faculty. We, the coordinators and instructors, come from a wide range of fields. Among the areas we are interested in are medieval diplomacy and international law, early modern commerce and diplomacy, religion, scholarship, and political thought, and even the 19th and 20th century republicanism and constitutionalism. Our faculty are interested in one or more of these topics. So this variety of interest will allow the participant students to encounter the Mediterranean through multiple disciplinary and chronological lenses. It will also enrich the conversations that we will have during this seminar week in Venice. So, in short, the graduate seminar that we are organizing will introduce students to a Mediterranean-wide perspective that highlights interconnectedness, shared challenges, and entanglements. It will also equip students to think comparatively and critically about the region's historical significance.
As Abdurrahman briefly mentioned, the seminar will be organized about several interconnected themes in the early modern Mediterranean. So we will discuss political, legal, and institutional structures. We'll examine how empires, state, and communities governed mobility, commerce, and intercultural interactions. We will look at diplomacy and interstate relations. There are many fields in this area which are currently really active in the global historiographical debate. So we'll look at treaties, capitulations, diplomatic correspondences and exchange, but also informal negotiation practices that shaped Mediterranean politics. We will deal with economic and social history, the traditional topics, trade networks, commercial law, merchant communities, circulation of goods, people and ideas. And along these, we'll also discuss how religion interacted with social and economic structures. We plan also to discuss conflict and warfare, not only as military events, but as forces that drove administration, legal, and social reorganizations. Abdurrahman already underlined the element of how these histories are entangled, and there's a strong, long tradition in Mediterranean historiographies about that. But I think that one of the things that drove us since the beginning is also to acknowledge that many of the national historiographies have developed independently on the basis of nation states and their political and cultural, how can I put it, interests. And what we would like to do is also expose students to this diversity and to show them how it's essential to acknowledge and being aware of all these different strands in their analysis. Last but not least, we will have a visit to the Biblioteca Nazionale Marciana and one to the National State Archive in Venice, the Archivio di Stato, so that students can see face-to-face manuscript, legal records, documents, through the help also of some archivists. I think an important thing to underline is that we are very open to see, once we know the interest of the students who are participating, at actually engaging with them and modifying or changing things so that they fit better with their own specific research interest. And the variety of our interest as a group of faculty instructors would allow us to be able to do that rather smoothly.
Excellent question. So by the end of this graduate seminar, we expect students to come away with several key outcomes. First of all, they will gain a solid and up-to-date understanding of the major historiographical debates surrounding this strategic area, as my colleague Abdurrahman Atçıl said, the Mediterranean. Throughout the week, they will be exposed to political, economic, legal, cultural, and also diplomatic perspectives, and they will learn how these different approaches do intersect. Secondly, students will develop methodological skills, since many of our sessions will focus on sources, methods, and archives also of the Mediterranean history. So students will have the opportunity to work directly with primary sources, materials during the visits to the Marciana Library, for instance, as my colleague Maria Fusaro has just mentioned, and the Archivio di Stato, the State Archives, so Venice, of course. These visits will be an important part of the program because they will show students how Mediterranean history was practiced, is practiced, and also how documents may be read, classified, compared, and of course, most importantly, contextualized in a trans-regional research and epistemological framework. Thirdly, the seminar encourages the students to think comparatively and transnationally. They will learn to question conventional boundaries of national historiographies and area studies, and they will also learn to approach early modern history as an interconnected Mediterranean system. This will be reinforced especially by sessions on global history, legal pluralism, mobility, and also cross-cultural trade, of course. Finally, students will improve their analytical and communication skills through active participation and assessed presentations. They are asked to synthesize what they have learned and also connect different sessions to one another, present their reflection to peers and faculty participating to this summer school. This will strengthen their ability to articulate complex ideas more clearly and more confidently. Overall, the seminar students with both the conceptual frameworks and the practical tools that are needed to engage seriously with Mediterranean history at an advanced level. I strongly advise the students to apply to this summer school because it's a unique, as Abdurrahman has mentioned, a unique opportunity also to learn different historiographical methodologies and schools. Sometimes universities are colonized by a single methodological historiographical position. And in this case, 3 universities, 3 different schools, 3 different positions to analyze one single object, the history of the Mediterranean. So it's a unique opportunity. I strongly suggest history students to apply.
Well, following up on what Vera Costantini was saying, I would like to widen the invitation beyond history as well, because there are several other disciplines that actually engage with the Mediterranean area at large. And I think it would be important for graduate students of these disciplines, I'm thinking of the many institutes of area studies or students of contemporary politics, that could actually benefit from an historical grounding of the issue we're going to investigate, because very few areas in the planet have been so intensely studied as the Mediterranean. And I think that seeing it in a sort of compact but intense way would benefit people in other disciplines beyond history as well.
I can only join the invitation extended by my colleagues Vera Costantini and Maria Foscaro to the students who want to benefit from this opportunity. So I think that this will be a great event for both us and our students.